Welcome back to my channel where we share with you the most amazing and interesting crimes that will leave you shocked. These are real cases taken from the National Crime Records Bureau of India. All the names and identifying details have been changed to protect the privacy of the individuals involved. The incidents and their outcomes, however, are true and based on public records. These cases often go unreported and unnoticed. So today I'll be sharing 8 such unheard stories of crime that'll keep you on the edge of your seat. Let's start. Number 8. The betrayal of trust. A woman in her late 20s. She explained that she had been in a relationship with a man for several years, and during that time, he had tricked her into marriage under false pretenses. When she discovered his deceit, she decided to end the relationship. However, the man refused to accept the breakup and began stalking her, causing her significant distress and fear for her safety. The desperate woman then turned to the police for help, hoping that they would intervene and put an end to this nightmare. But what she didn't know was that the police would soon turn against her. The cops not only failed to take action against the stalker, but also arrested the woman on charges of kidnapping. As it turns out, the police had been bribed by the stalker, and were now trying to frame the woman for a crime she did uncommit. In fact, they even went so far as to plant evidence against her, making the case seem airtight. For a while, it seemed like the woman's pleas of innocence were falling on deaf ears. It seemed as if the police were determined to see her behind bars, no matter what the truth may be. But thankfully, the case was eventually transferred to an anti-corruption bureau, and the woman was finally able to tell her side of the story. To everyone's shock, it was revealed that the police had indeed been bribed and were trying to frame the woman. After a lengthy legal battle, the woman was finally acquitted of all charges, and the corrupt police officers were brought to justice. The ordeal left her traumatized, but she knew that she had to move on and try to rebuild her life. Despite the trauma she had endured, she was grateful for the support of her friends and family who stood by her through the difficult time. No. 7. Love triangle gone wrong. 2 men were arrested after a woman was found dead in a hotel room. According to the police, the woman had been strangled with a towel. The prime suspect was her boyfriend, who had checked into the hotel with her. When questioned, he gave a shocking confession. He claimed that he had killed the woman in a fit of rage after finding out that she was seeing someone else. But he wasn't alone. The police investigation revealed that another man had been involved in the crime. He was the woman's husband, who had been in a legal battle with her for a divorce. It seems that he had hired the boyfriend to kill her and collect the insurance money. Both men were charged with murder and conspiracy, and the case is still ongoing. Number 6. Deadly inheritance. In a shocking case of greed and betrayal, a son and daughter-in-law were arrested for killing their own mother-in-law in cold blood. The motive behind this heinous crime was an astonishing 70 lakh rupees, a massive amount of money that the couple believed they were entitled to as the deceased's inheritance. The victim was a 58-year-old woman who was living in a village near Bengal. Her son and daughter-in-law had come to visit her when the unthinkable happened. They poisoned her, leading to her untimely demise. What makes this case even more disturbing is that the couple had done their best to cover up their crime. However, the police were able to uncover the truth and bring these remorseless killers to justice. This tragic incident serves as a reminder that greed and the lust for money can lead even close family members to commit the most heinous of acts. No. 5. Twisted obsession. A young woman found love in the arms of a charming man named Sarge. Their romance blossomed, and they soon became inseparable. But as the relationship deepened, Sarge's behavior grew increasingly strange. He became overly possessive and jealous, constantly monitoring the woman's every move and demanding that she spend all her time with him. When the woman tried to break away from his suffocating grip, Sarge's obsession only intensified. He began stalking her, showing up at her workplace, unannounced, and bombarding her with unwanted phone calls and messages. Terrified and desperate for help, the woman turned to the police and a local court for protection. But little did she know that her tormentor had a sinister plan of his own. In a shocking turn of events, it was revealed that Serge had been living under a false identity. His real name was Suraj, and he had a dark secret in his past. He had been convicted in another state for the horrific crime of raping a woman. Now, with his true identity exposed, the full extent of Serge's twisted obsession came to light. He had used his charm and charisma to manipulate the woman into a relationship and then subjected her to a terrifying ordeal of stalking and harassment. The police and the court finally took notice of the gravity of the situation, and Serge was arrested and charged with his crimes. As he was led away in handcuffs, the woman and her loved ones could finally breathe a sigh of relief, knowing that the nightmare was over. But the scars of the experience would forever be etched in her memory. Number 4. The price of revenge. A man was killed in a horrific acid attack, carried out by 3 men who were seeking revenge for an earlier altercation. The incident occurred in a crowded market when the victim was ambushed by the attackers who threw acid on him, causing severe burns and permanent disfigurement. As it turns out, the attack was not a random act of violence, but a targeted act of retribution. 3 days prior to the incident, the victim had gotten into a fight with one of the attackers over parking. And when the victim and his friends had intervened, the attacker's brother had thrown acid on the victim's friend. In retaliation, the victim and his friends had beaten up the attacker's brother, leaving him hospitalized. But when the brother was discharged, he had returned with a vengeance. Along with 2 accomplices, he had set out to teach the victim a lesson he would never forget. The attackers had waited for their opportunity to strike, and when they saw the victim in the crowded market, they pounced, throwing acid on him and fleeing the scene. The victim was rushed to the hospital where he remains in critical condition, fighting for his life. The police have launched a manhunt to apprehend the attackers and bring them to justice. But the damage has already been done. The victim's life has been forever altered by the horrific ordeal, and he faces a long and painful road to recovery, both physically and emotionally. No. 3. Love and death. In a shocking case of love gone wrong, a woman has been arrested for allegedly killing her boyfriend after he proposed to her. The incident occurred in the Indian state of Punjab, where the woman and her boyfriend had been dating for some time. According to the police, the man had proposed to the woman several times, but she had always rejected him. However, on the fateful day of the incident, the man came to her house and proposed to her once again. When she refused him, he became angry, and an altercation ensued. The woman then took a sharp object and stabbed the man in the chest, killing him instantly. Shocked by what she had done, she then contacted the police and confessed to the crime. When the police arrived at the scene, they found the man's body lying in a pool of blood. He was rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The woman was subsequently arrested and charged with murder. The motive behind the crime was reportedly the man's repeated attempts to force the woman into a relationship despite her rejection. The incident highlights the dangers of obsession and the importance of respecting boundaries in relationships. Revenge of the ex. A man was arrested after he allegedly killed his ex-girlfriend. The incident occurred in a small town in India, where the man had been in a relationship with the woman for some time. However, the couple had broken up a few months ago, and the man had been stalking her ever since. On the day of the incident, the man went to the woman's house and asked her to come out. When she refused, he became enraged and attacked her with a sharp object, killing her on the spot. He then turned his attention to her new boyfriend, who had come to her rescue, and stabbed him as well, leaving him critically injured. The man then fled the scene but was apprehended by the police soon after. The motive behind the crime was reportedly revenge and the man's inability to accept the breakup. No. 1. Deadly obsession. A man was arrested after he allegedly killed a woman and attempted to kill her friend because he thought they were laughing at him. The incident occurred in a park in India, where the man had been stalking the women for some time. On the day of the incident, he approached the women and asked them why they were laughing at him. When they refused to answer, he became enraged and attacked them with a knife. He stabbed the first woman several times before turning to her friend. Thankfully, a passerby intervened and saved the second woman's life by also stabbing the attacker. The injured women were rushed to the hospital where they are currently recovering. The man was also taken to the hospital where he is currently in critical condition. The motive behind the crime was reportedly the man's obsessive nature and his inability to cope with rejection. These cases highlight the dark side of human nature and the lengths to which some people will go to satisfy their desires. From stalking and harassment to murder and conspiracy, these crimes are a reminder of the evil that exists in our world. However, they also show the resilience of the human spirit and the determination to seek justice and closure. The victims in these cases may have suffered immensely, but their stories have the potential to raise awareness and prevent similar tragedies from happening to others. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified about our latest videos. Thanks for watching.